Hello, you wonderful people. How are you guys doing? So, I am back with my regularly scheduled programming this week. Last week, I took a little bit of a break because I was extremely busy with the Rakhi festivities. But today, we are talking about 10 lazy girl self care habits that have actually transformed my life. Now, we all know that if we invest time and energy into becoming the best version of ourselves, that actually helps us in becoming the best version of ourselves. But oftentimes, when we are going after that goal, self care can also feel like a part of the to-do list. Wake up early, do your exercise, eat healthy meals. And while that is all well and good and it's important, it is also important to come back and realize why we do self-care activities in the first place, to become more mindful of putting effort into things that help us restore our energy so that we can go out and conquer the world. So this video is about those habits, and you can do these even when you're feeling like your laziest self. The first is saying no more often. Now, for a person like me who likes their own company, who doesn't like to be very social, who has also dealt with social anxiety in the past, being able to be in my own space is a boon. It energizes me like nothing else. If I can just lie on my couch and do nothing for the entire day, that is my absolute favorite me type activity. But oftentimes, when you are a social creature, when you do this for a living, when you have to deal with clients and when you have to deal with social commitments, it becomes very difficult to say no, especially if you're also a recovering people pleaser. Now, I've only been doing this for the past year and a half, and it has completely changed how I deal with my time. Earlier, I used to feel so much pressure of saying yes because somebody coaxed me into doing something, or a friend needed my help, or a friend wanted to hang out, but I didn't really want to hang out, or I had a social commitment. But in the past 6 months, especially, I have been saying no left, right, and center. And this has been such a game changer because one, it gives me more time to just sit around, relax, and do nothing. And two, it also helps me gain so much more clarity on what are the things that I actually want to do. Because when I say no to energy draining things, I get more time back for the energy intensive things that I want to put effort towards. Number two, having fewer goals. Now, there's an old proverb that says, if you choose 2 rabbits, you will catch none. Basically, do नाव में पैर रखोगे तो डूबोगे. And while this ancient wisdom has been passed on through generations, sometimes you just don't realize it till you live it. And I had been doing that for the longest time. For the past couple of years, I had tried to put myself in so many different roles, in so many different positions, especially when it came to my career, because I was never satisfied with just doing one thing. And that led to me burning out extremely quickly. That led to me having a lot less mental clarity. And that led to me trying to push the envelope in all directions and then not being able to make even the most minutest dent in any direction. And ever since I changed that, I believe it's been 6 months or so, it has completely transformed my mental landscape. I no longer feel like I'm rushing from one thing to another. I don't feel like I don't have enough time. And I'm able to focus on my 4 or 5 goals very, very well. So one thing that really helped me achieve more clarity on the goals that I wanted to go after was trying out Warren Buffett's 5x25 technique. What this means is you list out 25 of your top goals, and out of those, you pick the 5 most important ones. Those 5 are the goals that you work on for the next year, next 2 years, and the rest 20 are actually your biggest distraction. And when I got this clarity, I cannot tell you how much more relaxed my mind actually got. The next one, and I love this as a lazy girl, is sleeping more. Now, I do this by 2 behavior changes. One is trying to get to bed at a fixed time. So 11:30 is like my cut-off time, and I try to be in bed before that so I can fall asleep by 11:30. But even if I can't, and I know this is a luxury for a lot of people at this point in time, I ensure that I get at least 8 hours of sleep every single night. I love sleeping. So like my inner person, inner child is so happy when I get to complete my sleep goal. But apart from that, the second thing that I ensure that I do is, especially if I have like very mentally energy intensive days, is I take a quick nap in the afternoon. It's a power nap, so 15-20 minutes tops, and that actually helps me refresh and come back to my work with such a better mental state. And I have actually been napping since my office days. I thought this was like very unusual and shouldn't be discussed, but I think if you can do it and if you can get away with it, you should go ahead and take a nap. So I just take like a shot of espresso and then I go take a nap. So in 20 minutes when I wake up, the coffee has also hit my system and I'm doubly awake. I don't know if that's healthy, but it really works for me, dude, seriously. The fourth favorite habit, again, that is something that I've developed in the past year and a half, is having not more than 5 items on my to-do list. So I divide my list into professional and personal. So in the professional space, I have a couple of clients, so ensure that I do one task each for each client and one task for my own personal brand every single day. So if I have 2 clients, those are 2 tasks for the clients, 1 task for myself. So there's 3 professional tasks in total. And then I will have a separate personal to-do list where I have my errands, etc. written down, but I will not take on more than 3 to 4 errands in a day. Even if that means I'm living in a little bit of a ganda area, or if I've not tidied my bed, or if I've not put my clothes to wash, it can wait another day if I don't have the time to invest in it. And having that distinction, having that boundary with myself that I will not go over the number of items in my to-do list actually keeps me so much calmer than I used to be. And my mental state is a lot better, and I'm not frantic, and I'm not trying to just get things done very, very quickly. And this is a game changer. I used to be a huge proponent of having like longer to-do lists and listing down everything that I needed to, but that only gives you like cheap dopamine. You get this rush before you check off a very low value task that is not really adding to your day, and you think you've done a lot of work, but in reality you've not done work that pushes the needle. So now in my to-do list, I only have tasks that push the needle, not mundane shit, that doesn't need to be on your to-do list and cluttering your mind, etc. And of course, this gives you mental clarity. But when you check this off, it also means that you have done something actually productive towards your day. And it helps me prioritize because it tells me what are the things that are actually important and what are things that are peripheral and can wait. The next one is doing one thing at a time. I recently spoke about this in a reel. I had gotten into the habit of just having something playing in the background all of the time, when I'm cooking, when I'm working out, when I'm in the shower. It was actually getting quite out of hand. So starting last month, I have put things into place where I'm only focusing on one thing at a time. And this is important because when you do multitasking, one, it reduces your focus because your brain is continuously having to switch between multiple tasks. So it makes you tired more easily, it fatigues you out more easily. And over a period of when you do this, your baseline dopamine levels, which is, let's say you get a dopamine rush before you watch a beautiful movie or before you go to that fun thing at the park, your baseline dopamine levels actually increase, like your baseline goes up. So the things that you earlier used to find enjoyable, you won't find them enjoyable anymore. And that is not what we want. We want to find joy in life, even in the smallest things. And if we want to do that, you cannot be multitasking all of the time. So now I focus on doing one thing at a time. I used to do this earlier, but then I got into that weird habit. Now I'm slowly getting back on track again. The next one is working out right in the morning. Now, I know that working out is not typically like a lazy girl thing, but working out right in the morning is. You must have heard the phrase that says, eat the frog first. Although I'm not a huge proponent of it, but when it comes to working out, I feel that if I just get done with it right in the morning, it frees up my entire day. And when I do it right in the morning, my entire morning routine is centered around going to the gym. So I wake up, I make my coffee, I will read a little bit while drinking coffee, and by the time the coffee hits me, I'm at the gym ready to work out. So I get that huge chunk of physical activity out of the way right in the morning. So I don't have to think about it. My brain doesn't lose a lot of willpower trying to figure out when to go to work out. And that I think is a game changer because it frees up my mental space to do anything else that I want during the day. The next one, my friends, is practicing gratitude. Now, I am a huge proponent of journaling. I've already made a video on it. Now, journaling is one of the best things you can do for your mental health, for becoming more self-aware, for becoming more mindful, and for getting to know yourself better. But I am an even bigger proponent of gratitude journaling, and I do this right in the morning. So when I sit down to have my coffee, I just take out 5 minutes and I write down 5 things that I am grateful for. And I have been doing this for several years now, and I just wake up, write down 5 things I'm grateful for, and that just sets the tone for my entire day. And I think it is a result of this practice that 90% of my days just go beautifully. Even if there is, bullshit happening, even if I have trouble to deal with at home, this puts me in the right state of mind because it keeps reminding me of things that are actually valuable, things that matter, things that I'm actually grateful for. So even if there's a blip down the road, it doesn't my mind space. And that is, I think, super, super important. I absolutely love this habit. The next one is going for walks, especially outside. I try and do this every single day. There might be a few days here and there when I'm not able to get this done if I'm extremely busy or if I'm outside and I'm not in the vicinity where I usually go to walk. But walking is one of the best lazy girl exercises. It's one of the best lazy girl hacks to stimulate your mind, to get out of the rut that you're feeling. And it's a great way to decompress after a long days of work. I am a huge proponent for walking. It doesn't take a lot of energy. You can do it while listening to a podcast. You can walk with a friend. And it just puts you back in the groove. It boosts those serotonin levels. And especially when you do it at the end of a day, it's just very relaxing for some reason. And I absolutely love this because I don't have to spend too much effort or energy in trying to go for a walk. I can just go up to the roof and go for a walk. And that just sets the mood for my entire day. The next one is self-acceptance. Now, just as it is important to work on yourself, to work on improving yourself, it is also important to accept yourself and to accept your situation for the way it is. Because if you're constantly in a state of mind where you want to reach the next goal, it creates a lot of mental friction. It creates a lot of turmoil up here. And I have been dealing with it in the past couple of months. And then I reminded myself that I needed to accept the situation and accept the reality of the situation and work within those, boundaries and those areas so that I'm not constantly living a double-sided life where I want to achieve that and I'm actually here. So that's giving me a lot of mental stress and anxiety. And that's just not worth it, because if I'm existing at this stage, I'm not able to get to this stage vibrationally, right? So we want to try and get to this stage where we want to be without being bogged down by the reality of our situation. And that can only happen if you accept the reality as it is and try to work with it instead of against it. And I know this is a difficult concept to fathom, and this is where gratitude journaling actually helps a lot, because it helps you figure out the things in your current reality, in your current dynamic that are actually working for you, and double down on those instead of pondering and hating the things that you don't like as much. So that's number 9. And with that, we come to the final point, which is taking time off to do nothing. We live in such an overly stimulated world that if we don't intentionally take time out to do nothing, to just sit on the couch and be like a couch potato, your brain is continuously in overdrive. And that break is so important. Boredom is so important. Doing nothing is so important for your brain to function properly, for it to not get overwhelmed, for it to not get bogged down by the work that you have to do, by the personal things that you have to do, by social media, by everything around you that is constantly stimulating it. So I usually do this one day in the weekend where I just completely cut off. I will not check my phone on social media, basically. Like, I still take calls, etc. I don't open my laptop. I went out on the couch. I'll maybe read a book if I feel like it, or I'll talk to the people I want to talk to, but I will not leave my house. And that is so, so important, because if I'm not doing that, then my next week is, if that gets like it's a chain reaction, and then the week after that is stressful, and it takes me so much more time to come back to my standard routine. And I don't want to do that. So taking time off to do nothing is absolutely essential. So those were my 10 lazy girl self-care habits. And with that, I hope you enjoyed today's video. I will see you guys in the next one, and have an amazing day. Bye.